you have the challenges of living in rural Ireland. And probably if you were to write out all the positives, you'd have a longer list of negatives, but it still wouldn't change what I feel about the countryside, you know. So we have connectivity problems, you know. So to get internet here is a nightmare. I'm running a business here, and I need internet. So on a rainy day, my internet works pretty badly. I have to drive up the road to where there's a hill to download an email.
I think we need to see more digital hubs, and broadband, of course. That's an obvious one, and I know we've heard a lot about it in the last 10 years, but it's still way off where it should be. Standard house, a lot of houses don't have broadband. The houses that do have it, we might get one or two make. We need to see more rural transport. The government can definitely do more there to support that. Public transport, again, in rural Ireland, you know, it's not up to scratch, especially when the rail service only serves the major cities and major towns.
The challenges that I would see from my work within the development, West Cork Development Partnership Company, on the farming front, is incomes would be constantly under pressure for the dry stock sector, beef, sheep, tillage starting to fall into that. And I suppose while it's good that the dairying is prospering and people are growing in that sector, I suppose we need to find a new or something different alternative for people that have been in traditional systems. The schemes that come along, I suppose it's hard to get one that fits all, and I suppose the bigger you are in the farm terms, the better you know, the more reward there is in it. So I suppose my thinking is if we could front load schemes to the smaller, more I suppose traditional farms that would need a higher income at smaller output levels, is one way of sustaining the communities, and at the same time not driving them down the road of trying to expand and keep up with a growing dairy sector. There isn't going to be a future for all farmers that currently there. So I suppose what we need, while I'm in favour of, and that is the policy within the partnership company, is to keep farmers farming and keep, you know, rural communities prosperous. And people do lead to prosperity. They spend money, keep schools, keep businesses rolling, services. It's hard to find the alternatives that would keep a wider sector of population going. So we need to be creative around all these things.
Our children play football for our local club, Tigmacarrig. They're actually very, very stuck for numbers. They love, our two twins, they love hurling, and they played for Tigmacarrigs, but there isn't enough numbers to make a team. So there's actually 4, and there's another a fifth one joining now. The local hurling clubs are amalgamating to make one team. So yes, they're going to have to travel a lot further to training and to matches, but they love their sport, they love meeting other kids. It's so important to keep that going. It's all part of a community. All these clubs won't be there if there aren't people like ourselves or other parents getting involved. And if all these young people are going to move to the cities for jobs, there won't be any GAA, there won't be any local schools, and that is a real shame.
The main factor in there not being a big young population here is that there isn't any meaningful employment here for us. It's really hard to find housing. There's loads of kind of barriers rather than a lack of want to live here, in my opinion. And I suppose I was lucky enough to have my family business to move home to.
We're losing people in rural Ireland, and that's the saddest part of it. Like our school is getting smaller. I'm afraid if the school will lose the school. I think we need more young people, probably educated, to say that farming is a nice way of living.